All I'm showing you today is a tiny little blue dot, but a blue dot with huge implications. It's already remarkable if you touch upon one blue ocean. And we're not only touching upon two blue oceans, already sailing on two blue oceans, and I'll show you why. But before I do that, a little story about the eureka moment of how IndoorAtlas and magnetic positioning indoors came about. So our founder, Professor Janne Haverinen, he was programming a robot in his house to move north. And because of the steel in any building in the world, it would not move in a straight line, and he knew that. What he didn't know, when he picked up the robot the second time, put it at the same starting position, it was still moving all over the place, but it followed the exact same path as the first time. So he was the first to discover two things. Number one, every square foot in any building in the world has a unique magnetic fingerprint. And number two, it's stable over time, over years. Now that changes the whole landscape. Because all of a sudden, there's a reason why indoor positioning has not taken off with all the existing technologies, all the radios like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and ultra-wideband and LED and PDR, you name it. So the use cases, think about finding a product in the supermarket, or instead of selecting your gated SFO and telling the Uber driver, I'm here, your blue dot is actually already following you the moment you walk off of the plane. This is to such an extent, I'm learning new use cases every week. Advertising proximity, why in 90% of the use cases indoors for advertising proximity, you don't need beacons anymore. You could just use the Earth's magnetic field, and there's a compass chip right there in your smartphone. So no infrastructure. So this is what a fingerprint looks like for any building in the world. So it's unique enough to give us a reading on your Android or iOS. So what is so different about magnetic? It's kind of like GPS outdoor. If you walk out of this building now, you have your phone powered off and you powered it on, it will probably take a few minutes before you have line of sight with 4 satellites. But at the end of the day, GPS is the foundational layer, which gets augmented by base station, triangulation, and Wi-Fi. Similarly, indoors, because we now have magnetic, the most scalable solution, will be augmented by what we call multi-sensor. There's a gyro in your device, there's an accelerometer, step detector, you got radio like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. But for the first time, there's now a foundational a solution that is going to open up this whole market. So what really differentiates this? It's one blue ocean is the accuracy. So going down to 1 to 2 meter level accuracy is opening up lots of new use cases. It's really 10 times more accurate than Wi-Fi or GPS today. And we can show you, by the way, in the demo area after this presentation. The other one is scalability, not just on iOS and Android, which is already unique, because on the iPhone, Wi-Fi positioning does not work. But also, total cost of ownership, it's 4 or 10 times lower. That's a multitude lower in total cost of ownership over a number of years than any of the radio technologies. And then what is important to note is Bluetooth is not a blue dot solution. It's actually only a microfence. It can only tell you that you're in this room. If you want to try trilateration with Bluetooth, good luck with that. So we only have about 200 or 300 competitors, some of the biggest players in the world, some of the smallest players in the world. But here's where we are. Because no competitor in the world has rolled out indoor positioning at any large scale. We launched with Baidu to 300 million users in China. And there's many countries to follow, and you'll see a lot more of us in the press later this year. We got 20 patents filed. We have 3 professors, around 35 people right now with R&D in Finland, and our commercial headquarters here in Palo Alto. 3 go-to-market strategies. We're testing B2C. We're live in Westfield, San Francisco, where you can see all these 6 unique use cases that Bluetooth or Wi-Fi cannot perform. And it's for free for our smaller developers. For the medium players, we charge by square foot, and by the large players, we charge by monthly active user. This is where we are today. I showed you the map of our crowdsourcing efforts. So we have a whole developer community of thousands and thousands of developers. Oh,
back.
There you go again.
Doesn't like it.
Doesn't like my back button. So that map shows you this is just the start. We will have thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands. So Baidu already hired 200 people to start fingerprinting buildings. So that is just the start. And the ask for you is we're going to be in the next few months looking at raising our Series B. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And now time for questions.
Yeah. I really love the tech. You seem to have like a really strong background there. But what's the use case that you're going to hire your sales organization into, right? They're use case driven, zip code driven, maybe coin driven. So how do you sell? How do you scale your sales?
I'm not sure if I follow your question.
But somehow you need to sell something.
Sure.
And the question is, how do you do that? How do you scale this?
Oh, so if you go back to our go-to-market strategy, there's a self-serve model. You just grab our SDK from the website. So that's the most scalable one. Then we have value-added resellers for the medium players. Like let's say you have 100 retail shops, and we have resellers who take care of that, or verticals like E911, Department of Defense, mining, airports, and then the top players, we have a direct sales force for that.
Yes, please.
Yes. So I think you need a map of the magnetic field to work these applications.
Sorry.
You need a map of the magnetic field.
Of course.
Right? So how much or how long does it take to make these maps?
It takes, today with the current tools, it takes about an hour for 25,000 square foot. So we could do a place like Tokyo, for example. We could do that in every building in Tokyo in a couple of years. And with the future technologies, you can actually have it running in the background, like Waze is doing it. It's a technology called SLAM.
Okay.
Could I ask how somebody gets started? The reason I'm asking is there have been companies that have produced a very attractive technology on the back end, but the technology required to generate the maps or the technology required to correlate or register things was complex or difficult. How does a potential venue owner get started?
So what they do, let's say they have an app, and they have a floor plan, and some of them already have started putting their SKUs in a database with XY coordinates. So what they could do is what we provide is the XY of where you are, and then you can have partners that do the wayfinding to your products, for example. That's already happening right now, both in Westfield, in San Francisco, as well as in China.
Last question from jury. One more question. No? Yes.
I probably just misunderstood your answer, but can you describe a little bit, talk a little bit more about the use case and the flow of money from who is the customer, who is paying to whom, how the money reaches you, how much do you charge, what's the model?
So I give you the
easiest
example is the multi-million-dollar deal we signed with Baidu last year.
Excellent.
So what we do is you have Baidu Map, 300 million users. Our SDK is in there, so we provide you, like GPS does outdoors, we provide you a blue dot indoors. And they pay us for a license fee, and that's it.
How much?
I'm not going to disclose that.
Thank you. Let's thank you, IndoorAtlas.
Thank you.
And